I can't say enough of how this center influenced me and the benefits that my wife got from it. I thought nobody can take care of her like me, and I knew I had to do something for my family. It's in their hearts that they want to provide the care for the people that deserve it here.
Edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. Thanks for joining us today. My special guest, Travis Markwood from Lancaster Chamber of Commerce, and also from the Ohio State Extension Office, Stan Smith. Welcome.
Thanks for having us on.
Thanks for being here today. A lot of activity going on, September, football games, all those type things, but there is a great event coming up. September 4th is the Taste of Fairfield County Agriculture. Talk a little bit about this and your involvement, how you guys got involved in this.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. This is about the fifth year of the event. The event kind of started as more of a breakfast to where we were just kind of create awareness of agriculture in Fairfield County. I've been with the Chamber of Commerce about 6 years, and in year one we kind of started to have conversations with our board to say, how do we get involved in agriculture? How do we recognize agriculture as the big business that it really is in Fairfield County and its importance to our economy? So. We got together with some great partners like the OSU Extension Office, which Stan represents, Soil and Water Conservation District. We've got some folks that are just in the Bay Food Market is represented there, the Ohio Farm Bureau, and we kind of formed a committee that we kind of consider our Ag Committee, and we started to put on these events. Again, the first couple of years was a breakfast at the fairgrounds with some guest speakers, and since then it's morphed into more of a taste of Fairfield County agriculture, trying to kind of highlight what some of the folks are doing out there in terms of producing local foods, and at the same time getting a message across about agriculture. Certainly Stan has a lot of information as to what agriculture really is here in Fairfield County.
And this is coming up on Thursday, September 4th from 4:30 to 7 at JD Equipment out on Delmont Road, just off the bypass. Stan, how did you get involved in this?
Well, I've worked at the OSU Extension Office for a number of years, and a lot of what we do is work directly with agriculture producers. And over the years, as Fairfield County has rapidly urbanized, agriculture has maintained its place in the business world here. The neat thing is that as we've watched agriculture actually grow in the county, it's become much more diverse in recent years. So,
diverse in the machinery, or diverse in the way farming itself? Or?
Diverse in every aspect. Traditionally, way back in the day, agriculture in this county was corn and soybeans, wheat, oats, and every farm had some livestock, usually a variety of livestock. Many farms would milk cows, they'd have some chickens and that. Well, 20, 30, 40 years ago, we began to become somewhat more specialized, and a lot of fences came down. A lot of the livestock began to disappear, and we were growing a lot of corn and soybeans. But in recent years, probably the last 5, 8, maybe 10 years, we've seen a huge push towards more locally grown foods that can be made available directly to the consumer. So as you look at Fairfield County's agriculture, while we're one of the most rapidly urbanizing counties in Ohio, we still have a tremendous place in agriculture, but it's so much more diverse. We're not just corn and soybeans now, and dairy and swine and beef cattle, but we've got Christmas tree farms. We've got people growing lots and lots of fruits and vegetables. We're blessed to still have 2 packing houses in the county that can harvest livestock and send it directly to the consumer.
I didn't know that. We have 2 in Fairfield County?
We have 2 in Fairfield County, Bay Market and Bay Packing right here in town, and then of course Twin City Frozen Foods up at Baltimore. Both continue to harvest livestock today and package it to go directly to the consumer. So as consumers have gotten to a place where they're more concerned about maybe where their food comes from and who grows their food. We're blessed here in Fairfield County to have not only producers that can provide that, but we've also got the infrastructure to make it available directly to consumers.
Are you seeing more families staying in farming? I mean, it used to be that it went from granddad to all the way. Are more people or new people getting into farming?
A little bit, but it's not traditional farming, traditional agriculture. We've got a lot of people that are doing it on a small scale, what we call value added, where they might be have some hens in the backyard, and they might be selling eggs to the neighbors and people that come down the road, or they might have a specialized type of livestock. They might be feeding some grass-fed cattle, which is uncommon, or at least historically has been uncommon. So we've got some people that are getting involved that might not have had family members involved for a generation or two, but they're not doing it on the traditional scale that we used to know, where everybody was growing corn and soybeans. We've gotten a lot more diverse. The Christmas tree farm and some of the things that go with it. It used to be back in the day you went to the Christmas tree lot and you just picked one out. Well, today, for many people, it's a family event. Perhaps entertainment farming, but you go to the Christmas tree farm, you get to see where they're grown, you get to walk the rows. They might have hot chocolate, popcorn, something of that nature. Chances are Santa Claus might even stop in. So it becomes an event for the family, and this is agriculture.
So the event coming up on the 4th at JD Equipment on Delmont Road, we talked a little bit about, there's going to be local agricultural vendors there, some local foods there, some farm machinery. I know, Travis, this is a big event, but you got some major sponsors for this.
We do, and first and foremost, we want to thank our host site this year, JD Equipment, out on Delmont Road. We're going to be out there, and they've been gracious to have us out there. Been wonderful to work with Ed and his staff out there. But we're excited to be there. Our sponsors this year so far are Seals Construction, Power Lines Electric, and Bob Boyd, the auto family. So we're glad to have those folks out. We contacted sponsors that do work in the agricultural community and provide services, and that's kind of part of the whole theme of this. You know, farmers are out doing work out in the county, but hey, they're coming to Lancaster. They're doing their banking here. They're working with the local car dealership because they got to have a truck for the farm.
Right.
You know, the economy because of agriculture here in Lancaster and Fairfield County again is a downstream effect. And we hope that this event kind of sheds some light on that. And a lot of great things are going to happen. Grilling demonstrations, cooking
Who's grilling? I want to know who's grilling, Travis.
Well, you know, to be honest with you, we've got some real experts. And I'm serious when I say that, is that we've got from the OSU Ag Department coming down. And Stan, what are their exact titles?
Our guys up at the Animal Science Department will bring their grill down, and they actually have in the food science and the animal science, meat science classes up there, they have a barbecue science class where they actually talk to the young people in the classes about preparing meats properly. And every piece of meat, depending on where it comes from in the animal or what animal it comes from, has its own unique characteristics that require perhaps different temperatures, different types of preparation. And so they spend an entire semester up there teaching that. So they're going to bring the grill down. And last year, the folks that had the opportunity to come out to the Taste of Fairfield County Agriculture got to visit with these guys as they prepared chicken wings the real way. They brought down some beef that had been smoked. They brought down a couple of different types of pork. They brought down some production or commercial type pork like we might get at any meat case, but they also brought down some pork from a heritage breed called the Berkshire and allowed consumers and people that were there to compare the differences between the heritage pork and some of the pork that we get today. So
That's neat.
it's going to be an event that showcases an industry that I think some of our folks may have forgotten exists here in the county. Agriculture annually markets their product here in the county for a total of $125 million. in this county in 1 year. $125 million worth of sales. We've got about 325,000 acres of land mass in this county, and still today over 50% of it is actually being cultivated in corn and soybeans and Christmas trees and the other things that we talked about earlier.
Right.
So agriculture continues to have an incredible impact on the local economy as well as the local consumer, as we not only produce commodity crops, as we call them, and meat products, but we're also producing products that can get directly to the consumer, be purchased directly from the farmer in many cases.
The event again is at JD Equipment, 1200 Delmont Road. How do we get tickets?
Absolutely.
What's the easiest way to get tickets?
We've got multiple places you can get tickets at. The Chamber of Commerce is one. We're right downtown in the square. You can stop at the Ag Department out at the OSU Extension Office, where the Soil and Water Department also has it. They're in the same building there. College Avenue out behind OUL. You can stop at the John Deere dealership, and there are tickets available through our regional Farm Bureau office as well in Circleville.
And this would be an event that even if somebody knows nothing about agriculture, this is going to be an educational event, as well as obviously we're going to have some great food. But this is something that people. I mean, I drove by JD Equipment the other day on my way south, and I couldn't believe the equipment that was out there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe the changes that have been made.
What's unique about this event is Ed Smith, who owns and manages the JD Equipment store out there, has agreed to get some equipment out and let folks get up close with that equipment. The technology that's involved in farm equipment today goes so far beyond anything we've ever known. We think about perhaps having a Garmin in our car or automobile. We've got guidance systems on much of this equipment, and it's not a luxury or it's not a convenience, but it's a guidance system that ensures that we don't overlap on pesticides when we apply them. So we're actually finding that we're using 10% less pesticide today than we did just a few years ago before we had this technology. So his goal is to let people get up in a piece of equipment and basically put it on autopilot, if you will, and show them how it can be guided through GPS and the satellite. Talk to them a little bit about the other technology that's involved in a lot of this equipment, the shutoffs that guarantee that we don't overlap, we don't waste seed, we don't waste fertilizer, we don't waste pesticides and those types of things. There are going to be some things for the kids, trying to get some little toy type tractors so they can do the same thing as mom and pop if they choose to get up in the tractor. And then, of course, there's going to be the taste and all the different commodities.
And this is going to be 4:30 to 7 on September 4th, which is a Thursday. When we look about, we talk about agriculture, and we've given some statistics, just in businesses coming into Fairfield County, and they look at, gee, this is what's happening in Fairfield County, and this is almost a hidden gem for the chamber.
It is, and this is the exact same conversation we had 5 years ago. Is that it's you can't ignore in some of the stats that Stan just provided for us. You can't ignore the economic engine that agriculture is here in Fairfield County, and has been. The state was founded on the basis of being able to use agriculture as a commodity, which then spurred a lot of industrial development as well. But it is important that we recognize it. I think it's important that the residents of Fairfield County recognize agriculture, because from time to time there are important issues that come up in terms of regulation, in terms of governmental regulation, that if we don't take care of our farmers and stand up for our farmers, that farming could become a lost art if we're not careful. And I don't think with the economic engine that it is and what it's producing in terms of feeding not only our local folks here in Fairfield County, but the nation and the world, that we want people to be educated about agriculture and understand what it really means to us.
And I think, just to follow up to that, Stan, is that changes that you've seen from the legislative side of things, I guess, maybe in the agricultural world, that maybe you thought, boy, I never thought this would happen, or maybe this should happen.
A lot of changes in that regard. Much like the rest of our world, we're becoming very highly regulated. And the piece that comes to mind most recently is what they call Senate Bill 150, which was spawned by some of the hazardous algae bloom concerns that we saw up on Lake Erie and Grand Lake St. Mary's, and some of the concerns we've had for water quality. So we are regulated very closely in everything we do. Before we're allowed to apply most pesticides, we have to be licensed and certified. Senate Bill 150 says that we will now be the same for fertilizer. If we're applying fertilizer to more than 50 acres, and most of our farms, of course, are more than 50 acres, they will go through more formal training. Even though it's something that we teach at OSU Extension regularly, they will now basically be required to go to those trainings. So some of those types of things to make sure that we preserve water quality. Certainly the food industry has always been regulated and scrutinized very closely between the Ohio Department of Agriculture and the Board of Health. Even our people that harvest livestock locally, we talked about the 2 packing plants, they're inspected regularly to make sure that they're safe and that the products that they're putting out to the consumer are fit to eat and nutritious and problem-free.
To the average individual who goes to the market and says, gee, that steak looks pretty good, or that looks pretty good, is there anything that people should be looking for? I mean, that I'm not much, I'm not much of a health nut, but I mean, is there something that you would give advice to someone that's
I would encourage people that if they have concerns for what they're eating, the opportunity exists today that they can meet the person that's growing it for them. If they want to do that, they're welcome to do that. They can ask questions about how it was grown. Producers are more than happy to share with them how they do it and why they do it. The folks that go to farmers markets to buy vegetables and produce have the opportunity to do that every time they go shopping. In Europe and in some other places, they actually have barcodes on the meat cases where you can scan it and you know what farm the meat came from. Well, here in Fairfield County, you can go right to the producer at farmers markets or at the Taste of Fairfield County Agriculture and actually talk to people that are growing it. We're now growing it in a variety of different ways. For those people who enjoy grass-fed beef, that's available in this county now. Grain-fed beef, which is my personal preference, is available in this county. And everything in between. We've got an organic dairy here in the county that's growing cattle, taking care of their dairy animals, and producing organic milk. It's a unique commodity. There's not a tremendous amount of demand for it when we look at the big picture, but it's available. So the thing I would do is tell people, if you have questions, if you have concerns, ask. Our growers are very knowledgeable. They have to be in order to make a living doing this, and they understand why they're doing the things they're doing. They'd be happy to share that with the consumer anytime.
You know, on Thursday the 4th at JD Equipment, that'd be a good opportunity to do that for people that have no idea about agriculture or everything that goes into it. And actually, we want to, again, say thanks to JD Power and their business and what they mean to Fairfield County alone.
Absolutely. Again, it's going to be a tremendous venue for this. It is, as Stan said, a perfect opportunity to come out, meet the vegetable grower, meet the person that's raising honeybees and has honey. You know, I mean, it's all right here, and you'll get a chance to sample a lot of it there and learn a lot. It's going to be a great family night, I believe, for the kids to get a chance to see the equipment up close. And if you haven't seen it up close, it is impressive machinery. A lot of technology wrapped into that, and we'll be partnered too with a lot of the local schools. We hope to have some of the FFA chapters there, and of course, if we can drive some excitement about agriculture, then the goal will be met.
One of the things, again, we talked earlier about grilling. There's going to be a cooking competition. Is that going to be open to everyone, or is it just going to be the people from Ohio State going to be cooking? Is that, or can Travis cook and burn something? I mean,
I don't know if Travis can cook.
Oh, Travis is on the grill. I know he's going.
We better stay away from cooking competitions in Travis, but I think we're excited. Farm Bureau has taken the lead on this, and they're the ones that are leading the cooking competition. And from what I understand, they're going to have some local, I believe, students.
I believe from the Career Center.
From the Career Center. And they will be given, much like you see on TV, a basket of local foods. And they won't know what's in the basket until that day. And they will be asked to cook a dish up with that basket of local foods. So that's going to be fun and exciting.
No, do we have judges for that?
Absolutely.
Who are the judges?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
Stan and I apparently have not been asked to judge.
Not to do that?
We'll be busy enough doing other things.
Yeah. No, there'll be plenty of different kinds of samples. Our local cattlemen will be there, and their theme for this year is Hawaiian, so they're going to be doing shish kebabs on the grill. Our folks from Bay Market have always brought some of the products that they create and make available through their meat case. Our vegetable growers have always put up a tremendous display. Last year, our honey producers were there and had examples of their product. So lots of diversity, and you get to experience all those different things.
Herbs and goat cheese, I mean, things you don't think about. We've even got an individual who raises freshwater prawns here in Fairfield County.
That's right.
No kidding.
Yeah, out in the Rushville area.
Wow.
Freshwater prawns, and so that's a very unique commodity here, and they harvest once a year, I think.
Once a year in September.
It's a pretty exciting event out there. Lots of people come out to harvest.
I didn't know that. If people had questions about, gee, I'd like to take a class about this, or I'd like to do that, contact you, Stan, or what would be the...
I'd be happy to have them call. We can get them in touch with whatever it is that they're interested in. Find perhaps a class that's been formed for that, perhaps a field day. A lot of these things are available out there.
What's the easiest way to get a hold of phone number or website?
We can do both. They can call us at 740-653-5419. They can look at our website, which is simply fairfield.osu.edu. If they look at Fairfield Extension on the Facebook thing, they can find a lot of our posts as we try to keep timely information out there. But the meat science thing is growing so quickly, Mike, that Ohio State just put together the first meat science major in the country. Now think about that. We've been eating meat since back then, and we've been growing it and producing it, and there is so much demand from the restaurant industry and from the meat procurement people that they weren't getting enough students to get things done. So OSU put together a meat science major. Now they've always done minors, and they've always, and that's part of what this barbecue science class was about. So you're going to, agriculture is exploding. Only 1% of our people actually grow the commodities, but the support and the infrastructure that goes with it for technology development, the things that run these pieces of equipment without having to have hand guidance, and all the science behind preparing a piece of meat. Who would have imagined?
Right. It's just that the old days, I throw it on the grill and we're done with it. And do you get together with other extensions offices and talk about, gee, maybe in another state, I guess, maybe not necessarily another county, but conferences that you go to and talk about, different things?
Absolutely. We have the opportunity to meet with our specialists on campus several times a year. They're a phone call away if we need them. Our producers have access to those same specialists on campus. And actually, here in a few weeks, our young people that are involved in our 4-H and FFA livestock projects at the fair will go up to the meat lab the week before the county fair, and we have a competition that's based on the carcass merit of the lambs and the pigs that they're producing. And these young people, they're going to be evaluated totally on meat quality and characteristics, and they'll get to go to the meat lab, and they'll actually get to see their animal up there, and there'll be a little bit of cooking demonstration, there'll be some teaching. But in recent years, we've had 100 young people and their family members go up to the meat lab and gain a better understanding of all that goes into the projects that they've been raising for years.
It's just amazing, all the activities that go on. And we just have a few minutes left in this segment. And again, we want to thank the sponsors, Travis, for
Seals Construction, Power Lines Electric, and Bob Boyd Auto Family. Again, helping us out. It does take a little bit of money to put this event on, and some resources, and so we really appreciate their recognition of how important agriculture is here in Fairfield County.
You have to have a ticket. One more time, where we can get tickets?
Yeah, tickets, and they don't cost anything. I want to make sure that that's clear. It's free admission, but we'd like you to grab a ticket. That way, our folks in the grilling demonstration, the Cattlemen's Association, we got an idea of how many people are going to show up. That's simply what this is really for. And so you can pick those up at the Chamber of Commerce. Again, we're 109 North Broad. We're right downtown behind the Sherman statue in the park. And again, out the Extension office, Soil and Water office, that's out on College Avenue, just back behind OUL. And you can also pick them up at the JD Power Equipment Store and Farm Bureau office, the regional office in Circleville.
Stan, I want to ask you one question. Is there any type of meat you would like to eat but have not been able to try? Anything that if somebody said, I'm going to go get this for you, we just have a few seconds.
I've probably tried them all, and I've enjoyed every one of them, right down to the prawns. They taste just like fresh shrimp.
Really? Travis, how about you? Is there anything that you really, I'd really like to try this?
You know, I think growing up on a small farm and my grandfather being an old-time farmer, I tried stuff that I didn't even realize I was trying back in the day, and I'm surprised as I got a little older that I did try those, but it's all a good experience of kind of growing up in rural Fairfield County.
Well, gentlemen, we appreciate you guys both coming in. Travis Markwood from the Chamber of Commerce, Stan Smith from the Ohio State Extension Office. Thanks to the new crew here at Fairfield Christian Academy, the brand new crew this time for us, and we'll be here for a while. We do appreciate everything you guys do. Thanks for JT Burcham. Again, don't forget, Thursday, September 4th, 4:37 at the JD Equipment on 1200 Delmont Road. We would appreciate you guys being there. Learn a little bit about agriculture. Thanks for tuning in today. This edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.
Cotton balls, duct tape, spoon, needle, thread, scalpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.